and then I'm going to hand it off to Sherry, who I met there. What was really cool is, first of all, the message from Maui is take massive action, right? Listen, we give you so much amazing coaching between, Brent and Randy and Don and Tom and Amir and myself. And I mean, now we have Jackie and Kevin and all of the great folks that are here. The coaching is there. Take massive action. It is time to move. It is time to actually do what you know works to drive your business. And what was super cool was on the first day, there was this amazing presenter in Hawaii and Maui named Sherry. And I was like, oh, man, she is essentially, giving you the guidebook to a better life and exactly what we've been trying to express to everybody. And then the next day, my wife and I are unfortunately enjoying ourselves walking down, the beaches of Maui. And there's Sherry right next to me. And she goes to introduce herself. And I'm like, come on, Sherry, we all know who you are. She has built the most amazing brokerages in her past. She has led a number of people to 6-figure and 7-figure incomes. She is one of the most coveted coaches in the country. And she was kind enough to say that she would come and do an Atomic Habits for us. So I am sure this is going to be one of the most watched podcasts that we ever have on our Facebook Live Atomic Habits page after we present right now. And I'm going to shut up because I am just stealing time away from Sherry. So Sherry, take it away. Teach us the golden pipeline.
Russell, thank you so much. And it was awesome meeting you, your wife, so many amazing people in Maui. What an amazing organization. What an amazing leadership team. I am beyond impressed. And I've known a lot of great people in this industry. And I really felt like it was an absolute honor and privilege to be there. And yet I got to spend all that time with all of you. So I think I was the one who won out of that. But I'm excited today because we are going to share something that I created when I was an agent that doubled and tripled my own business. It's called the Goldmine Pipeline System. And it is bigger and better than just your typical pipeline. I'm going to get into that in a minute. But what I love about it is Goldmine Pipeline is literally, I hope, going to revolutionize the way you look at leads and how you prospect for leads, how you follow up with leads, and how you determine who your future sales are going to be. Because the whole purpose of the Goldmine Pipeline is to play the long game, everybody. You know that feeling when you have 3 or 4 people that you're showing houses to or you're working with and you think they're all going to happen and you're giving your time and attention to just those 2 or 3 or 4 people and they all buy or they all sell, right? And you're out of business for like another whatever, right? A month or 2. It's this roller coaster ride of sell a house, don't sell a house. Sort of what I call the dangers of impatient selling. We have to keep these deals together because they're the only ones I have at the moment, Sherry. So what happens with, and if those 3 people, by the way, 3 or 4 people that you've given all your time and attention to, don't purchase, don't list, well, then we have a horrible month, right? It's that 0 in listings, 0 in sales, 0 in income. And we can't have that because we made some massive goals at the beginning of the year. And we're committed to actually closing the gap of setting a goal and then actually achieving it. So Goldmine Pipeline is going to eliminate the roller coaster ride. It's going to give you predictable and consistent monthly income. Doesn't that sound great, everybody? Like predictable 10 grand, 20 grand a month, that kind of leverage, that kind of actually going out and making it happen and not saying, I think I'm going to have another good year. I hope I'm going to have another good year. And that sort of thing. So I'm going to share I've got a slide deck. I just went to a whiteboard by accident. Can everybody see my screen? Are you guys seeing my screen?
Sherry, I see a white screen if that's what I'm supposed to see.
Me too.
That is not it. So let me get off of there. And so what I really love, here we go. I really love about this system is it doesn't matter what your current production is. We work with teams that do 140 million and we take them to 200 million. True story. We work with individuals that are brand new who start out at $1.5 million, $2 million, and they do 6 million in less than 11 months of implementing the system. So it is for everybody. It's not just for new people. It's for every experience level and every production level. And again, what I really love is I hope you leave here today looking at your leads differently and building a pipeline and monetizing the value of the leads you have, because that's going to be the best part of this whole day, is realizing how much actual business you have. You're going to walk out of here feeling like the rock star that you already are. And I'm excited. So before I get into that, I have a podcast, about 320 episodes, maybe a little more. It's called You Rock, a real estate podcast with Sherry Johnson. It is on all podcast platforms. I get people telling me that they sell houses from the podcast. So take it, download it, start listening. One that is on the screen right now is one of my all-time, honestly, one of my signature courses called How to Make 50 Grand at Your Next Open House. For real, like how to make 50 grand out of one open house. So listen, subscribe, tell me what you think. Tell me what the results you're getting. It's pretty cool. If you want to download my contact information, you can get it right here. Scan the QR code or text Sherry J to 88500. I can put this in the chat later too, and love to connect with you, outside of this meeting as well. So Go My Pipeline is available. I'm going to give you the downloadable ebook. It's like 3 pieces of paper that explain how to maximize basically what I'm telling you on this call today, how you can maximize the Go My Pipeline, the best ways to utilize it for its full potential, and just kind of a cheat sheet of how to implement it and get results right away. This is like instant results. We have people who have done 4 units last year. This just happened last week. I was at a client in Virginia, and they had, one of the managers told me that they had an agent starting their 3rd year in the business, had 4 transactions last year, has a $17 million pipeline rate. 17 million. Okay. So I guarantee you're going to love this. And I know it will change your life the same way it has changed thousands of agents' lives that I have the honor and privilege to work with and coach, just like you. So Russell started earlier saying that I managed companies. I had about, just to give you some perspective, I grew a territory of Ohio right on Lake Erie from 500 agents to 750 net, and in 4 years. And then we grew the sales volume on purpose from 600 million to 1.7, almost 1.8 billion in 4 years. And so this was done by strategically coaching agents. I was a top agent. I know how hard you work. I'm still very active. I don't put my name in a sign. I refer all my business out, but I am engaged with real estate 28 years. And I after I sold for 10 years, I wanted to have this company actually. And from 1997. And so I sold for 10 years. I was in management, executive management for Howard Hanna Real Estate, which is the private, largest privately owned company in the country, mostly in the Midwest out here. And again, I had about a $2 billion sales operation that I grew really from nothing. And so coaching agents just like you, how to use Go My Pipeline, how to convert, create relationships, add more value, and get hired, right? And really look at leads differently instead of, oh, they're not ready, actually nurturing that lead the proper way by meeting them there where they are. So you are the CEO of your business. You know that. You're running your business. We have to look at ROI. We have to look at ROI on your time, not just financial. It's a big deal, right? And so you wear a lot of hats. And one that I want you to realize is that there is a massive difference between a sales strategy and a marketing strategy. And I don't hear this enough. I heard, oh my gosh, what was his name? He actually talked about it in Maui. The guy from Hawaii. Russell, if you remember, if you want to tell me his name.
It wasn't Chris Okamura. It was the other guy. Gosh darn it.
Dylan? Is it Dylan?
Dylan. Yes, it was Dylan.
Thank you. Dylan. And so I heard Dylan talk about this. I go, oh my gosh, someone who speaks my language. There's a big difference between a sales strategy and a sales process, right? We just don't have a good strategy. And when we improve our strategy, amazing things are going to happen. They're going to start happening immediately because of the way you now think and the way that you're going to utilize and use this Go My Pipeline. So that form that you're downloading actually gives you the ability to start using the form immediately. You can print it. You can email me and request an Excel version of it. You'll get a PDF that you can fill in. The Excel version obviously will total it up. It's kind of nice. But I want you to think big. It's 2024. We coached a team that's not a team in the sense of, many people. They're two ladies in Arizona with an average sale price about 1.5. And they came to me and they said, we want to each make 500. We've been making 350 each, and we want to make 500, and we do 30 million. What can we do this? I said, yeah, it's done. Let's put the plan together. So we mapped out Goldmine Pipeline, and it's an amazing story, actually. And it was last year, in a year where most people had a seemingly, I wouldn't say horrible year, but it was a little tougher than most. And most people were down 50%. These two went from 30 million by the end of March, they were at $23 million in closed business. And so I said, ladies, I need to recalculate your goals. They're not big enough. You're each going to make 750 to $1 million. And they were like, you're crazy. And I said, no, I'm not actually. And here's what ended up happening. I'll fast forward. By September, they had closed $80 million by September between the two of them. They each made over $1 million. And they ended up closing the year out at 84 million. Now, that's a crazy, wild, extreme example, but is it really? Like, you can write down a number right now, okay, in the how much I have to make, what I would like to make, what's your first goal before you met me, right? There's the goal that you had before this phone call. And then I'm going to push you to another massive action goal that is attainable, right? Coaching isn't making people great. It's bringing out the greatness and the potential you already have. So the difference between someone making $50,000 and someone making $500,000 is just having a better strategy. It's playing the long.
This is Hamid. How may I help you?
Oh, hi.
Hey, good morning.
I'm going to sell a house. Are you muting them? Thank you. So when you look at this chart right here and you say, okay, what's the number I have to make? And then what's the number that would be great? And again, that's probably the number before you met me. And then the stretch, reach for the, shoot for the moon, land on some stars number is that amazing, crazy number that I want you to put on here, because the only way it's going to be put on here and happen is if you have that thought right now that you can do it. And that is part of that is saying, you have to be the first person that can believe you can do it. And that's a mindset shift, perhaps. Okay. I know this. When we think people aren't serious, do you ever lose contact with somebody? You don't follow up with them. You didn't think they were serious, and then their sign is in the yard 2 weeks later. Has that ever happened? It's horrible, isn't it? It's the worst feeling. Or you see it in the MLS. Worst feeling. And you're like, wait a minute. One of my agents, this happened to her, and she came to me and she said, they lied to me. She was mad at the seller. And I said, no, they were just talking and you believed them, right? Like we can't give up. We have to get an appointment with someone as quickly as possible, or someone else is going to get that business. So I don't want you to say, oh, this lead isn't ready, I'm not going to follow up with them. Quite the opposite. I want you to get an appointment to go see that house immediately. And you can do that by saying, Lisa, I know you're not ready to list. I'm not coming to list your house. I mean, I am. I may not be listing it this weekend, but I'm starting the process and I'm one step closer to them choosing me to list their home. So Goldmine Pipeline avoids that roller coaster ride of selling a house and not selling a house. It also is going to eliminate the missed opportunities that keep happening, because everybody will be on a system. This is not just a CRM. I mean, you could have the greatest CRM in the world. People say to me, what's the best CRM? And I say, the one that you're using, right? So we have to be using it, which is a whole nother class and conversation and coaching session. But let's go back to why this Goldmine Pipeline is going to even out the highs and lows. You're going to build a future pipeline of sales that are going to happen 3, 6, 9, 12, 18 months from now. And when you put them on paper and you just say they're not ready, but they will be, and when they are, I'm going to be the one that maximizes that, you will get rid of this roller coaster ride. See, you just don't have enough people that you're talking to at varying stages of their home buying and selling. Every agent wants the A leads, the Glengarry leads, the ones that are going to buy right now or list right now. And that's great, but there aren't enough of them unless we go out and make it happen. Right? So we have to go, successful agents make it happen and create a plan and a strategy to do that. We are sitting around and we get the reason the average agent sells so little homes is because we're like, oh, I hope somebody calls me, or I'm waiting for someone to ask me to list their house. We have to go make it happen. This will put a list together. You're going to monetize the list. Again, you're going to have what I call consistent and predictable income. Two things that do not exist in real estate, but they will for you now, because wouldn't it be nice, Malcolm and Russell and Stephanie and Don, I'm looking at all of you on this call because those are the people I see. Wouldn't it be great? It's like February 14th, right? Wouldn't it be awesome if you knew with certainty what the next 2 months look like? That you knew that in June and July, you were going to have 4 listings and 4 sales. In September, October, even to December of this year and into February of next year, you could actually create the business so that you had it and it was a sure thing, right? That's what this does. It's going to create a backlog of people that will materialize over time. We all know that a C buyer ends up buying sooner than they say, right? Someone says, oh, we're not going to list for a year. You met them at an open house. You go there on Thursday and they have cleaned out 4 rooms and they're ready to go. And they tell you, we're so excited. We met you and you've changed our perspective and you told us you could find us a house. We're going to do this now. So a lot of these, a lot of times we take them for such face value that we lose the opportunity, because a coach, several out there, tell you if someone ghosts you after the 3rd time to dump them. That is not my strategy at all. I actually want you to stay with those people for as long as possible. I'm not telling you to show people houses for 11 months. But if we were to call and connect with them, stay in touch with them, add value, you're going to be the one that maximizes that opportunity. So let's get into what the form does and how to use it. So, and by the way, this system can double or triple your business this year, starting in February, right now. Whatever you did last year, count on doubling it if you want, if that's what you want to do. I don't know. What does another 150 grand do to your life? What does another 300 grand do? I don't know. I think it's wonderful freedom, right? It's financial freedom. It's a lot of things. And it's not in my world, it's not about materialistic things. It's about security, providing, right? Being able to do what you want with your time and not having that stressful, I have to keep this deal together. And we coach so many people and they're in that mode of like desperate. And it's not, you say desperate, but it's like, you don't have enough other business. So if this one deal falls apart, you're kind of screwed because you don't have 16 other people backed up on a list. So we're going to change that. And we're going to give you very, very predictable, very consistent, very scalable way to do this business. So again, all listing leads go on page 1. So take your average sale price right now. If you're at, I'm going to use 400,000 or 5, I'll probably use 400,000. What's your average sale price? You guys are all over the place, right? So
yeah, 500 is fine.
Just use 400. I think
400 is fine. Yeah, either one of those is fine.
Okay, I'm going to go with both. And here's the thing. I'll use both examples. So you probably have 10 people who that would sell their house. They're not ready today. Some might be ready right now. Some you're listing this month. Some you're going to list in 2 months. And then there's a whole list of people that you're like, yeah, they're going to move at some point. They're not on your radar really, but they're going to move at some point. So immediately we have 10 people. Again, these are not, you may not have even seen the house yet. You may have just had conversations. There are 10 potential listing sides only. We're only talking about the listings. And at 10, we're at a $4 million pipeline with 10 leads, just like that. If I do that at 500,000, I'm at a $5 million pipeline with just 10 leads. Okay. 10 possibilities. I hate the term lead, but really it's a new client opportunity. And it's a relationship, right? It's a new client opportunity, a new client relationship. So we know 10 people, they're in your phone, they're in your database, they're previous clients of yours that are on your client list, right? We have a client list, a current active client list. Let's stop calling it a past client list. My friend Alan Dalton says that. And the truth is, I stole it from him. They have one realtor, right? And they don't have a past realtor. They should have a realtor, and you're it. And so you can look at your list of referrals. You can look at your list of clients who have bought a home from you, and you can identify who would be moving in the next year or two, or 6 months, or maybe 18 months. And you can take those people off that list and put them onto this list. Many, many, many of our clients pick up listings this way because they're like, you know what? Their last kid has just graduated from college. The house is too big. The house is too small, whatever the case is. You have opportunities and you have these leads. So I want you to scour your open house sheets from the last 6 months. Yes. Pull them out, circle the names, circle the phone numbers, and put them on this list. So 10 is 4 million or 5 million. Let's up that to 20. We have 20 opportunities. We have 20 people talking to us about selling their home. Just the list side. And, that's another 4 million. We're now at $8 million if we're at a $400,000 sale price. And we are at $20 million, right? If we are at, actually, I did that wrong. 10 million. We're at $10 million. 10 million with a 500,000. So 5 times 20 transactions, 500,000 times 20 transactions are $5 million. $10 million. Okay. I didn't sleep last night, literally at all. So we've got, if you're at a $500,000 price point right now and you have 20 listing leads, okay, you've got a $10 million pipeline, and we haven't even discussed the buy sides yet. Okay. Are you guys with me? So now across the top of this chart, there's a chart ranking that says A, B, C. So you're going to assign A, B, or C. And at the bottom, there's a little legend that tells you that an A lead would be in the next 60 days. 30 days was too short. 90 days was too long. So I made it 60 days, right? So 60 days out, which becomes really handy when we want to forecast what your A's look like over what do the next 2 months look like, right? You can tell your coach, you can tell your mentor, you can tell whoever you talk to about your business, this is what my next 2 months should look like. Maybe you're a team leader, maybe you are the team leader. By the way, if you run a team and you implement this with your team members, this is where it just takes off. Imagine having everybody's pipeline, adding it up, and knowing that you can hit any goal now. I coach a team in Columbus, Ohio. They were doing 140 million with 15 people. And they said, we want real, like negatively. They're like, we want to get to 200 and we just can't. And I was like, oh, that's done. We'll get to 200 million quickly. This year or next year, it's done. And they were like, you're so confident. And I said, well, here, we're going to put everybody on the Goldmine pipeline, and you'll see why I'm so confident. So we have the session. Everybody turns in their pipelines. There was $231 million of potential business on everybody's pipeline that no one had ever monetized or looked at in that light. So the team leader was like, yeah, we're definitely doing this. Changed her whole confidence level. Okay. So as an individual agent, it's the same thing. You have a pipeline right now of either 8 million, 20 potential leads at 400,000, or 10 million, 20 potential leads at 500,000. Now I want you to think about the buy sides. Okay. Most of the people you work with are going to have to buy a replacement home. What we are doing here, the Alaskan pipeline goes on forever and ever and ever. And so too does your Goldmine pipeline. I named it that because someone asked me, what is this pipeline and what does it mean? And I said, agents are sitting on a gold mine. They don't realize how much actual potential business they have. because we're only looking at the ones that want to do something. See, it's real easy when people know what they're doing, right? We know what to do with the people who know what they're doing. It's the ones that don't know what they're doing that we don't know what to do with. So do we call them? Do we wait? Do we not wait? Do we lose the opportunity? They put a sign up with somebody else. So what's going to happen is you're going to determine, I'm going to build a $10 million pipeline. Like when I started in the business, that was my first goal. I'm like, I have a $10 million goal. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there, but I'm doing it, right? Did almost 4.5 million my first year. Actually, the funny story is I had 5 sales literally my first month in the business from complete strangers, from an open house. And don't even get me started there. We have all of my entire coaching is based on leveraging and multiplying one sale into 3 to 5 additional sales. So this one house that I got on a floor call, literally for $139.9 floor call, thought it was a prankster. I listed it. I sold it myself on New Year's Day from an open house. And then I had 2 more sales from that sale. So I had 4 sales from one listing. Remember when you used to sell lots of houses off of your signs or from a house? Like that has not gone away. So if you're a newer agent, we can teach you how to do that. If you're an experienced agent and you remember those days where you didn't want to take the sign down, right? You didn't want to take the sign down because you got so many calls on it. So I want you to think, like, how could you leverage every single listing into more sales? That's how you make 50 grand in an open house, right? So we're going to go back to Gold Mine Pipeline, and we're going to talk now. We have a potential pipeline of 20 seller leads, either at 8 million or 10 million. And we're going to go to the right side of the page on the screen. And this is the buyer sides. So you would think every seller would have a buy, match. So we love to work with clients that are going to have 2 sales, right? They have 2 sales, 1 person, same client. It's kind of nice. There are 2 sides, 2 sales to that client. So you're going to list every potential buyer side that you have. Okay. You need to add this up, right? If you don't add it up, it's just a list like you've always made. If you have an Excel spreadsheet list and you made a list of buyers and sellers, you've probably never added up the actual monetized value of all of these leads. That's where this is a little bit different. And this is why this makes people so excited. So you add it up and let's just say, for my example, we have another 20 leads that are buyer leads at either 400 or 500,000. So now we're looking at a $16 million pipeline or a $20 million pipeline, just like that. Okay. And you're saying, well, what's the conversion rate of all of these people, Sherry? I get it. So I used to sell 75 houses without a team. And I would have about 100 people on my pipeline, 50 buyer sides, 50 listing leads. And it would shake out into 75 sales. Okay. And when I was doing 50 sales, same thing. I would have 75 people on the list, maybe 65. And I would sell 50 houses. So you're going to sell and convert, per our stats, per what we see with our coaching clients, about 85% of it will actually materialize. So what's really cool is you've just now realized, wow, I'm probably sitting on $15 million or $20 million of business that I have not really taken seriously because they aren't in the I'm ready to go stage. Again, you want the people who are at varying stages of their home buying or home selling status. Okay, that's what you want. Oh boy, I just did that. Sorry about that. And so here's what happens. We're also going to, on page 3 of the form, we're going to look at your current listings that are on the market right now with a sign in their yard. Let's say you have $2 million of current listings, active listings. We have to account for those. We've got now another 2 million to add to this. In our closings or pending status, you have another, we'll say 2 million for ease of math. We have another 2 million in closings, 2 million in active listings. To our 16 million, that takes us up to 20 million on our $400,000 average. And then in your $500,000, right? If you added another $4 million or 24 million if it all happened, if everything sold, if everything came to fruition, everybody bought and everybody listed. See, I said in my condo, my father told me you might not sell a house for 6 months. Self-made guy, like absolute greatest businessman in the world, and my mom too. And they, my dad said you might not sell a house for 6 months. And I was like, if I don't sell a house in 6 months, I'm not doing this. I was 26 years old. I had a car payment, a condo payment, and a really high shopping habit, right? And I would admit that I probably still have a high shopping habit today, and kids. So here I am, I'm sitting in my condo and I'm like, I have some closings, but where are my next 5 deals going to come from? You know that feeling? You probably have all had it, right? Where are your next 5 to 10 deals going to come from? And we can't just wing it, because that isn't predictable and that isn't consistent. On page 4, you're going to look at just the A's separate. And this is where you can say, Russell, hey, look, my next 2 months are really solid. I should have this many listings, this many sales, and make this much money. Now, if that's not being able to forecast in a business that is totally unpredictable, right? And the up and down cash flow and everything else, like I love when our clients are like, I am so calm now. I am so calm. I'm calm with my family. I'm not running at that, intense angst mode because I don't have other business. And there's nothing worse than only having 3 eggs in the basket. They all sell and you're out of business and you have to start over, or they don't buy or sell and you have nothing, right? So the A level is so important, because once you get to that, I used to be able to say, these 6 to 8 people are going to buy next month, and these 6 to 8 people are going to buy the month after, and list. And it was so nice. It was predictable and it was controlled, and it was almost like you said, hey, I'm going to go make this happen, and you do it. And that's what ends up happening. Now, the chart below is going to be that all inclusive A, B, and C, every status, all statuses. And by the way, there's another little category on this chart called closed sales year to date. So obviously I've already closed another 2 million this year from January to February 14th. I have to account for the closed as well. So this chart will account for all of it. Your potential business, potential listings, potential buyers, your current active listings, your pendings, and then what you've closed year to date. Okay. And what's really great is in the Excel version, it will actually figure out your GCI. And obviously you can figure out, your income from that point. So this is really going to be like a game changer. And again, it is different than having a whiteboard in your office, because the whiteboard in your office usually doesn't add up the total. I don't ever see that. I always say, oh, would somebody get a total at, right? What's really cool is you could actually determine exactly, we tell you exactly how many leads you need on the Goldmine pipeline in order to shake out the number of sales you want to hit the income goals that you've set, which is really kind of great, isn't it? Like, it's so predictable. 1.5 times is what you need. So you need 1.5 times to hit the actual number that you want. Actually, probably go over it. I didn't mention that even referrals go on here as a placeholder. So for example, I see this guy who did some IT work for me, and I see him in town and he says, hey, my neighbor wants to move. Will you help her? And I'm like, of course. And this is like not even 2 years ago. And he's like, we've got our dogs. There's no way I'm getting the information. I'm not going to say text it to me, but I say, great, we'll connect and you can give me her information. Now, on the Goldmine pipeline, here's what I would write. And here's what you should write. Josh's neighbor, I don't even have the person's name yet. Josh's neighbor, 650, Canyon Lakes. And I have it as a placeholder to remind me to call the referral source. Because again, this is an area where we think, oh yeah, I'm going to remember to call this guy. I forget, you get busy. And then you're showing houses one day in Canyon Lakes. And you're like, oh wait, that was the house I was supposed to have that listing, right? Did you ever have that happen to you? I have. And so Goldmine pipeline eliminates that. you are not going to lose. Nothing's going to fall through the cracks. And you're going to have more business than you even imagined. I stayed in touch with an open house lead for 11 months, everybody. I didn't show them houses for 11 months. In fact, they ghosted me. They never returned my calls. And I would be like, hey, Sherry Johnson calling. I've sent you some great houses. If you're interested, let's go this day or this day. Nothing. Do it again. Nothing. Twice a month, religiously, I called them. I texted. I sent an email. I got nothing. I even said to them, hey, Sherry Johnson, I'm just calling, checking in. If you have changed your mind and you would like me to stop calling you, let me know. And then I laughed and I said, I'll probably still call you anyway. Right. And then I was like, let me know. Okay, seriously, bye. And then I hung up. I never heard from these people. Okay. Still never heard from them. In the 11th month, literally, they called me and they were like, Sherry Johnson, we know 12 real estate agents from our business. We met you in an open house. You're the only person who's ever followed up with us the way you do. Would you sell our house and help us buy? Yes. I get there and I usually forget to tell this part. And they were like, when we pick someone to sell our home, we want to make sure they follow up with every single lead. And obviously, that's like your whole strategy. That's what you did with us. That wasn't even on my radar that I was doing that. I just was following up with people and checking in and seeing if they were ready yet. So we want those people that are A and B or B and C people, because here's what happens when people tell me, oh, I'm moving, but it's not going to be for a year. I say, I'm not going anywhere. And then in my head, right, I actually say, I need business a year from now, right? So you're going to need business. And that's the whole point of this thing is you're going to need business from in the future. And I can't stress upon you enough that you don't want to have just those 3 eggs in a basket. And I think what happens, and I'm going to let you ask some questions, is that we end up thinking that, I think you have unrealized business. You probably have 25 listing leads like this woman, Mary, who didn't even realize she had 25 leads. Okay. She did. And she thought she only had 4 buyers. And when we wrote it down on paper, she had like $12.5 million of business that she didn't even know. And so I'm going to challenge you today to say that you probably have a very big, enormously beyond realized pipeline that you just haven't tapped into because you're not looking at the leads, right? You're not looking at the leads as a way to foster that relationship with people. So if you were to do that and you were to get business from it, I guarantee you that you will love the results. So add it up, get the form. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to get out of this sharing and just say anybody excited to do their pipeline, right? Like do the pipeline. And when you write it down and you add it up, your eyes are going to get really big. And you're going to say, this is the year I'm doing this. That's what's going to happen. So I hope you like that. If you have any questions, anybody have any questions?
So Sherry, what you spoke about open houses. Is that, in your opinion, the best way to build the pipeline?
I think first of all, it's so nice to meet you. I've heard fabulous things about you and I love that you're on here.
Yeah.
I think there are a number of ways to generate leads. Yes, there are a lot of ways to generate leads. I believe that the open house is the GOAT of all lead generation. I've been doing this for 28 years. And if you do the open house the right way, to look at it as a lead generation for listings, then yes, you can, pick up 5 people. They all have a house to sell. They're all going to buy from you. That's 10 transactions. They're 5,000 a piece in income. There's 50 grand. It doesn't have you don't have to do them every single weekend. You can be strategic. I think you have to have a better strategy about the open house, right? If you do the wrong open house, this doesn't work. You can't do a first-time buyer open house. You'll just pick up buyers. So I think pick the right house, fish where the 50-pound salmon are. If you want to catch $500,000 fish, house buyers, you got to be where those buyers are in that house. Listen to my podcast and I'll also give you some other videos you can watch, but it's to me, the open house and a pre-neighborhood open house is even better. When you do a pre-neighborhood open house on your next listing and invite the neighbors on purpose, our clients are getting up to 7 potential listing appointments that they're actually listing houses from doing a pre-neighborhood open house. I'd be happy with just three listing appointments at a neighborhood open house where I just listed a house. That's a win. Anything over that is going to be, awesome. So yes, we have a whole strategy done on leveraging your new listing, doing open houses, doing a grand open house event. But open houses are the go. If you don't believe me, try my strategy out, and I think you'll love it.
Hey, Sherry, I don't even do as well as what you just said. I have a actives, pendings, and coming soon board, and you are so spot on. I follow up on what's on my coming soon board, period. I mean, I follow up everything else, right, to make sure that everything's going to happen correctly. And that's where all of my listings come from, is that board. And I haven't done it as organized as you. In the last 3 years, I've never done less than 500,000 in GCI. So I am super excited about implementing. But my question is this: I just signed up for this free gold mine pipeline, and I didn't get an email. Is that something you do manually, or did I put in my email wrong?
Check your spam.
I did.
Oh, no, it should come to you. Maybe, when did you do it? Right at the beginning?
Like 10 minutes ago.
Give it another couple of minutes. I think I think it's not set on 3 minutes, but
Okay.
you should have it. If you don't have it, text me.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I got mine, Russ.
Oh, well, Tom, send it to me. Anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Kenny said his took 10 minutes.
Okay,
Awesome. All right. I probably have it now. I was just super impatient. I'm one of those guys.
that's okay. We all tend to be a little bit. And you have Brent? I have the same issue? Okay.
I'll be patient. Yeah. You know what? We'll just share it with our group. Do you care if, well, I know you're using it as information. Do you care if we share it with our group, or do you want everybody
Absolutely
to go
not.
register?
Share away. Yes,
Beautiful.
please
We will
take
share it
it.
with our group.
And I'll send you the Excel spreadsheet version, Russell, and you can send that out to everybody.
And then I had two of the folks from my team ask you, are you still taking coaching clients, or are you full?
We are taking coaching clients. Yes.
Okay, okay.
As a matter of fact, it is, I'm going to put it into the chat, sherryjohnson.com. Get started, or you can just go to the sherryjohnson.com website and go to one-to-one coaching. I will say this: we have plans that start at $575 a month. Our most popular plan is $995 a month. It has the most of everything in it. Team plans start at $1395, very affordable. And our average agent earns another 160 plus in 1 year of coaching. And that's just because we are so hyper-focused on giving you the strategy and the how-to. Everyone knows they're supposed to go do all this stuff. The compliments I get are, you show me how to do it, And I think that's why I'm so passionate about doing this. I love to see the results you get. That's what wakes me up every morning to go do this. So I'll send you a bunch of other things. There's also, if you're interested in checking out our coaching before you want to sign up for individual coaching, we have an option called Sherry's Free Playbook. And that is going to be a subscription to the Sherry Johnson Academy. The first month is free. There are 30 different courses on there. Unbelievable stuff. Make 50 grand at your next open house is there. And then it's $49 a month after that. But there's no one-to-one coaching, but it's still access to the Sherry Johnson vault of the Sherry Johnson Academy. So really great stuff. So definitely. And by the way, if you set up a strategy call, put a note in there that you would like to have that call with me, and we'll make it my calendar available so that I can talk to you personally.
Hey, and we're going to wrap this up. Sherry, first of all, thank you so very much. And let me tell you, I'm a investor, which I know a lot of folks on here are investors, but we also have folks that don't do a lot of deals. When I am looking at a investment, if I can get an 8 or 9 cap, right, which is fractions of a percent of return on my money, right? You invest 100% of your money and you get 8% back. That is a win in real estate right now. Sherry just said that her average client increases their income by 160. First of all, I think the average last year income of a real estate agent was 50-something thousand. If you invest $995 a month, that's a 133x of your investment, which is insane. You would be crazy if you're not earning what you want to earn if you didn't put this on your credit card. Again, when I was at Maui, the folks that are there were the top 55-ish people in the country, because there was not very many people there, and they all take massive action. They are all there. They don't wait around. They sign up. They get stuff done. They go to the listing appointments. They pick up the phone. They go to the office. Do not let this opportunity slip by. I didn't realize Sherry had space available. You should go sign up right now. Thank you so much. Tom, do we have anything to share
Yeah,
for Front?
yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Sherry. This was awesome, amazing. And what I love about this is it's simple. And the quote that I love is, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. So thank you so much. I love this. So next week, we have world-renowned Stephanie Peck, who is going to bring the guest Kim Elder Access to share leverage. So next week, jump on in, invite others, Atomic Habits, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day. See ya.
Everybody,
Bye now.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you.
you're welcome. Talk to you soon.